Hi guys, and welcome to this video. And in this video I want to show you the best Google Ads structure for a lightning brand and store. So if you aren't happy, you have a lightning brand or e-commerce store and you just don't have the return you want, maybe the ads are not performing as good, in this video I want to show you our best proven structure that we use every single time to get the best returns of investments on Google Ads for lightning brands. So here on my screen you already can see it. It's just a brand that I open up, but if you sell lampshades, ceiling lamps, outdoor lighting, whatever it is, this is the right video for you, and just stick until the end because I will also give you a Claude prompt that you can use that will report and analyze your entire store and will give you the exact structure for Google Ads that you need, plus all the ad copy. Okay, so everything is brand. So if you want to do it by yourself, you can just use the prompt and basically run for yourself and set up everything. Of course, if you also want us to set up this for you, will be also the links down the description that you can just talk with us, chat. We have a free audit and we can actually implement this strategy for you. So let's jump right straight into it, guys. So before I show you here, you'll see on the bottom of the presentation we have our structure. We have like phase 1 and phase 2 for a lightning brand, but basically a couple of things to consider if you are starting doing Google Ads for your company. Maybe you're already doing it, but as I said, the results are not great. So the first thing is the different price points items in your store. So of course, as you know it, you probably have different lampshades, different ceilings, floor lamps, so different items in the store, and the price varies, right? So you have expensive products, you have maybe mid and low, and then you also have the cheapest ones, right? So that is important because if you do just a general Google Ads campaign, Google may be pushing for expensive products, maybe pushing for the low ones, and you need to be aware of that in order to get the most of the ads, right? Because if you are pushing to the most expensive and you don't take care of it, and you just have like $10 a day budget, then you don't know why it doesn't fix or why it doesn't work. Well, because Google is pushing for a specific type of product or starting to learn. So you have to have that in consideration, which is different price points, what should you target, and so on. And we'll go there in a second. The second thing is the daily budget versus average product price. So really straightforward, guys. If you just do like a sum up of your store, and if the average product price in your store is like $1,000, right? And you just have a daily budget of $10, that means that you need 10 days, not even 10 days, like almost 100 days to reach the $1,000 mark. So it's really difficult for you to understand if it works or not because your daily budget, right, is way lower than the product you are trying to sell. Okay, so you always need to have that in consideration, which is if you have a smaller budget, maybe you need to focus on the cheapest products on your store. If you have a better budget, maybe you just want to focus on the top expensive one, but you always have that in consideration, and your expectations needs to be that your daily budget should match a little bit the average product price. Okay, so if you have like $500 normally average on your product price, your daily budget should be around maybe 200, 500, like close to it. Why? Because in one day or two, you can have enough data and start seeing data that makes sense to make a decision, okay? If you just have $10 and you're selling stuff for $1,000, you need a lot of days just to see if it works, because you probably will have like one click a day or even lower, right? So always have that in consideration. The third thing is ROAS, return of ad spend, versus the amount of intent purchase. What I mean by that is that I talk with a lot of clients, a lot of lightning companies, that they say, oh, these are our top 5 bestsellers, right? And then when we realize one of the top bestsellers sold one product, but as it's so expensive, the ROAS is like 10. And the client thinks, and you think that, oh, this is a bestseller, I need to push more money into it, but actually just got one sale. So it's really important for you to have an understanding between the ROAS, the return of a specific product, but also the amount of times people actually buy from. Because sometimes you can have products with a little bit less ROAS, but they sell a lot. So you should focus on that rather than, just going and pushing all the budget to a product that have like an amazing ROAS, like 10 ROAS, but then it sold 2 on the last 90 days. Okay, so that's really important. The fourth thing is, of course, competitor price analysis on Google, and again, catalog feed and catalog and shopping ads is really good for lightning companies and brands. But you need to have that in consideration, that you'll be bidding and you'll be showing with your competitors, right? So if your competitors have similar products but they are cheaper, maybe they have like a better shipping rate, they actually include the shipping price on the product, that is something that you have to have in consideration, because sometimes you may be pushing for a product and you don't know why the ads are not working, why the budget is not working, why the bidding is not working, and most of the time it's just because people are smarter. That's it. Like, people do their own analysis, and if you have a competitor that have a similar product and is way cheaper or have better conditions, if you don't match that, or you give at least a point that you are better than the other ones, you will have really hard time to sell it, even though you don't understand why the data is not working. Okay. The last two things, brand name. Of course, you need to be careful if it's a broad name or a unique name. If it's a broad name, you need even to defend more, and we will talk in a second on the structure of a brand campaign. But you also have that in consideration. Okay, guys, if you have a broad name, like, I don't know, like Lightning, Todd Lightning, for example, if people search for Lightning as a broad keyword match, it can technically bid on your brand name, right? So it's really important for you to always protect your name, and to be aware that some names of stores will be easier to protect than the other ones, because if you are unique, most of the other ones will not accidentally bid on you. If you have a really broad name, you may just get inside of bidding wars, because other people are bidding for broad keywords and your name appears as a broad keyword. Okay. And last but not least, of course, shipping and delivery time. That's the same as the competitive price analysis guy. Okay, like if you have like a floor lamp that costs 1,000, and then people go to the cart and cost 1,020 or 50 because you have $50 shipping, that can just massively decrease your conversion rate. So it's always better to also do some research around your competitors and just play around with that. Do some testings, okay? So that's something we always have in consideration when we start doing Google Ads for Lightning brands, okay? So let's go to the nit and grit and go and show you our proven structure. So we have two phases, okay, guys? So phase one, okay, is core data, what we call like the core structure of the ads, and then we have the phase two, which is scale. So when we actually consolidate the data, Google starts optimizing and learning from you, starts to getting better. That's when we pass to phase two, okay? But the phase one is actually pretty straightforward, as you can see here on the image. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, let me try to zoom in so you can see it better. Okay, but basically we have three campaigns that we always love to start for Lightning brands. Okay, the first one is a brand campaign, or as I explained above, we always like to protect the brand, even though some client says, oh, but we have organic, we appear first. Well, but above you, there's always like a big gap of sponsors, and if people are searching on mobile, it's even worse, okay? So even though you are the first on organic, you probably are losing some share to the competitors. And one thing that is really important to understand on brand, guys, is that most of the times you already technically paid for people, like you already warmer people, because these are people that are searching for your brand name. So they already probably visit your website, saw you on social media. So you already have the time and the effort to show your brand to the people. And then if you don't have a brand campaign, just another competitor comes and steals from you. So it's really important to have one. And normally, most of the time, it's a really high ROAS return on campaign. Okay, so that's the first one we do straight away. The second one is a PMax bestseller. So basically what we do, guys, again, you have to connect the feed on Google Ads. If you don't know what to do it's really simple. Just go to YouTube. If you have a Shopify platform, you are working on Shopify, is even easier. You just connect Google Merchant Center and Google Feed to Shopify. But it's really important to have a feed connected. And we always like to start like that, because most of the times Lightning brands have like a decent amount of products, right? Like you have not just have one, you have plenty of them. So a PMax bestseller, basically what we do is like on your backend, we will analyze with you the top 10 to 20 products that are the best sellers historically, okay? And what we do is that we tag them on Merchant Center, so we tag them as a category, right? We put them, all of them together, and we create a PMax. Basically, the PMax, if you don't know what the campaign is, it's just a more dynamic campaign that reach a lot of placements like search, like demand gen, YouTube, email, and so on. So it's a little bit more like dynamic. The Google just go around and search for the type of people you are looking for, and it's a really good one. It's one of the best products so far on Google at the moment of this video. And what we do is like that. So we tag 20 products that are the best sellers, right? It doesn't matter if it's different categories. We just wanted the top 10, 20, and we put the highest budget in there to start, okay? Why is that? Because we know historically that these are the top 20 best sellers, okay? So if something doesn't work, if you don't have sales, we can already put in perspective that these products should sell, right? So if you have the right keywords and so on, so we now can then layer down and see, is the website, is it the add to cart, is the something wrong on the ads, like is the copy. So as you already have the historical data that this one work best, it's always better to start with that, right? Like it's pretty straightforward, right? So we do a PMax, targeting the bestseller products, all of them in one campaign, reaching different placements, and now just targeting your ICP, and basically put the most budget out of it, okay? The third one that we do is a shopping catch-all. So it's basically just a shopping campaign, no search, no demand, no YouTube, it's just a normal shopping campaign. And basically what we do is like we put all the products in there, so it's the entire feed you have on Google, but we remove the best sellers, okay? So basically, the best sellers we remove, we exclude it because they're already here, so we don't want to just overlap. And basically this campaign, what it does is just get data for Google, right? So we are expecting this to be the lowest ROAS, right? Because the best seller should be one of the best, right? And basically this is just for data only. So basically what it happens is that it lets Google to test all the products you have on the store, right? And just find winners. Maybe there is a product that you never tried before and it's selling a lot. Maybe put new products on it and he will catch here. Okay, so this is really good for learning phase and testing, because if you find a really best seller here, you can then just tag the best seller and put them here. And that's what we do, right? So as you can see, guys, it's a pretty straightforward phase. It's just 3 campaigns that you can start right away, and this should be enough to scale pretty good, okay? To just put more budget into it, because you need more data, Google needs to learn, and these 3 kind of cover everything you have on your Lightning store, okay? So that's what we always start to do. That's where we actually take our analysis, how we analyze products as well. This is a different story, but that's what we see the reports, like what are the products that are working the best, if you guys get a lot of out of stock or not. So all of those questions, like this is the phase where we put the oil in the machine, okay? So this is like the consistent part of it. And then of course, when this starts to work well, then we have like a third part, tracking. Like tracking is really important. That's another video as well. But when this is going consistent, we then change to phase 2. And phase 2 is basically scaling. So what we do is that now we want to go to a phase, right, where we now slowly starts to split and be more specific, okay? So as you can see here, what normally we do on a scaling phase, that then we add, for example, a search high intent campaign, which is basically just a search with keywords that are super high intent, like buy lampshade, right? Like top, the best ceiling outdoor lighting for garden. So like specific keywords that we know that people that are looking for want to buy specific product. And we start slowly splitting the ad groups by categories, right? It can be like as general as like outdoor, indoor lighting, can be more specific, right? Like ceiling lamps, lampshades, table lamps, it can be whatever the budget you have, right? But that's what we start to do, just to be more narrow, more specific. Then we also have the PMaxes by category. So we slowly start opening by category or by features, okay? And as I said, it can be ceiling versus lampshades. It can be, specific like glass lampshades versus, raffia lampshades. So depending on the material, for example, right? So that's what we slowly start to do. Why? Because now that these ones are running and are their core, we want to go to, we want to squeeze the most out of the return, okay? Then, of course, when these two are, because this can be a lot of campaigns, right? We can start opening a lot of stuff. Then is when we actually start doing retargeting as well. This actually comes everything together, because you're now starting to get a lot of data. You have probably a good customer list as well. So basically what we do is we grab all the information you have even from the back end and starts to import to Google. So past customers, add to cart stuff, website visitors, whatever it is, we start doing retargeting for that. And the ad copy is even specific, but that's where we actually now starting use the lists and the audiences in our favor, okay? And last but not least, guys, again, super advanced phase, I'll say, when you're already probably spending like a 10K a day or something, is you'll reach a point where there is a cap on search on Google. And one thing you need to do as well is also be more brand awareness. That happens to a lot of brands, which is, yes, this is high intent, people are searching for it, but it reaches a point where people just need to know you, right? Like you need to feed the top of the funnel. And that's where we start doing demand gen, YouTube, email, whatever, like all the other ones that are not, we are not specifically looking for conversions, we're more looking at like brand awareness, how much impressions we can get, clicks and so on, that then help all the other campaigns. It will help you organic, it will help you meta ads, whatever you are doing, these top of the funnel stuff will help you in the long run. Even though you cannot see it right away, it's like you need to do it because you will reach a ceiling, right? So that's kind of like the two phases, guys. And then you can see phase one, you can scale really, really fast and high, and it's just pretty consistent but straightforward, okay? So to finish, guys, two things that I want to show you. The first thing is that you can actually do a lot of stuff on Claude, right? So basically Claude, guys, we use Claude for everything. You can use ChatGPT, but for ad copies, for structure, for pain points, for snippets, for whatever you need to actually implement on Google Ads, you can actually use Claude, which is amazing, to create campaigns and do a lot of A/B testing. And one thing that I want to show you as well is like Luis and I put together, if you saw the video so far, we put together like a really amazing prompt. It's right here. It's a really big prompt where you can basically just put your store URL. I just tried with Vaporlight, but you can just put your URL and it will give you exactly everything we talk on this video. So you will analyze the entire store for you, and it will give, as you can see here, like an amazing store brief, everything, and it will get you phase one and phase two. So if you don't want to do it with us, just use this prompt. It will tell you everything, how to set up the brand, the PMax, when to scale, and everything, the ad copy, keywords, whatever you need. Okay, guys, it's a super in-depth prompt, and you can get it for free down below this video. Just click on the button, and we want to give you for free. If you want, give us a like. We really appreciate. It helps a lot the video, guys, but that's free. That's for you. So everything I'm talking on this video, if you want to do it yourself, it's down below, okay? If not, as I said before, you can also have a call with us. You can just talk with us. We can actually implement all of this for you, and we can even give you a free audit on your current setup for free. So also just click on the link below. It's down below this video, and we can talk and we can just implement all of this for you, okay? Last things just to consider really quickly, okay? High-level actions that we always like to do, and you should do it every single day, week, or month, depending on the frequency. But this is something that helps a lot on results. The first one is bid adjustments, okay, guys? So we actually like to go after a couple of days and weeks, right, when you have starting getting data. We're now starting to look at what are the best days of selling. Is Mondays, is Tuesdays, is the weekend? And then we push more bid adjustment, like we tell Google, like bid more on these days or on this on this hour of the day, right? So now we go specific. Then you can do this by gender, if you sell more for men or women. You can do this by device, if more of your sales are desktop, you can push more for desktop. So that's something we do quite often on the campaigns when we analyze the data. The second one is location budget allocation. So if you have, for example, you go entire US and you see that you sell a lot on Miami, you can then just create a campaign pretty similar to the other ones, but you just focus on Miami, you exclude Miami from the broad one, and you put more budget on Miami because you know it works so well, okay? The third one is merchant feed optimization. A lot of people don't do this, but basically is that you can actually optimize the feed for Google Shopping, so like the titles that appear, the product images and so on, and we do that on Merchant Center for all of our clients, okay? So we actually, we analyze the best title, because don't forget that on shopping, you'll be competing with others on the same line, so everybody sees a lot of products, so you need to be and have the best titles, the best descriptions, best tags and so on. So we actually do a lot of optimization for the feed. Customer match lists, of course. Now that you have data, as I spoke above, now we use a lot of your data, like past customers, add to carts, even newsletter subscribers, we'll put it there. just for Google to understand better your audiences as well. Search term scouting, we normally do this weekly, which is mainly go and do a full analysis on your campaigns to see what actually are bidding on, like what are the search terms that people are searching when find your brand. And sometimes there is a waste, like there is keywords there that people click on it and that's nothing to do with your brand, or they are not buying intent, for example. So we like to just go there and negativate everything and take it off, so you don't waste money on keywords that doesn't sell. Okay. And last but not least, of course, with Claude, as I show you now with AI, you can be more specific, you can have more ad copy, and that's something we like to do. Okay, we like to be specific on ad copy per ad group, like just talk directly with the person that we are actually targeting. So that's a really important thing, and your conversion rate and click rate goes way up if you are specific on the ad group. But yeah, guys, just to finish as well, I just want to show you here one client really quickly. So you can see here, guys, we are doing pretty much this stuff here, and let me put here last month, for example, so you guys can see a proper data. So this is live. We are on 22 of July. This is the month of June, and as you can see, guys, these guys here made 5 ROAS. You can see here on the right side, and basically, as you can see, guys, we are just starting phase 2. So basically, as you can see, we have all other products, the shopping campaign, catch all. We have the best sellers, and we have a brand campaign. And then of course we already are slowly doing the phase 2, which is opening subcategories. You have another campaign here as well. But as you can see, guys, not a lot of campaigns. Yeah, these guys are doing 5 ROAS on just a simple but efficient structure. So that's it, guys. Okay, so that's it, guys. If you, as I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want the full Claude prompt with everything, just click on the link below. It's free. Just give a like if you like. I really appreciate that. And if you want us to implement this for your brand, for your lightning brand, click on the link below. We can just chat for 15 minutes. We can even give you a free audit if you're already running your ads, just to see where it's bleeding money, what you can do to change. It's completely free, no strings attached. If you want us to implement, just click on the link below, and I'll see you on the next video.